Hey everybody, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects going on here. Please check out Flashback Monday, Star Trek Fridays, Next Generation. I'm a series person. I like to read series books. I like to get character progression from book to book to book. And don't forget my new series, If Then, on Friday afternoons following Star Trek. So please check that out. If you like the Bridgertons, maybe you'll like Joanna Lindsay's Mallory's, Catherine Coulter Sherbrooke's, etc. So right now we are doing 17th Suspect by James Patterson. I don't know who the 17th Suspect is. I'll confess that much. It's a smaller book than some of the others that we've done recently. And it was a really quick and fast moving book. It was a really easy read. Didn't take very long at all, just a couple hours. And it had a couple of disturbing backwards cases. This is one of the first few that Yucki is prominently featured in a storyline, more prominently than normal. So let's get back to it. Lindsay is a sergeant detective in the San Francisco Police Department, and Conklin is her partner in the police, and Joe is her husband, and they've recently reconciled in book 16 after being away for a while. And Brady is her boss, and then Jacobi is the big boss. And Claire is the ME, Yuki's the attorney, and Cindy is the newspaper reporter. And some of the books, Cindy takes a really backseat. Claire takes a backseat. This one, it's basically a Yuki and Lindsay book, and there are quite a few different things going on in this book. Yuki has a what was that thing called back then? The Me Too movement. She has a male character saying that he was raped by a female character, and she held a gun to his head, and there's video of the whole thing. It's a very multi-layered case that takes several tragic turns. It has quite a few twisty turnies. In the end, there's several huge twists in this case that go back and forth between the defendant and the one who's the plaintiff. So it goes back and forth between the two individuals quite often, takes 2 or 3 leaps several times. Then we've got Lindsay's case. Someone is killing homeless people, and she thoroughly believes that she does it. It's not in her district. Let me back up here. It's not in her district. It's in another police district, and she's getting phone calls from this supposedly homeless woman, and that has another step to it too. But she's getting calls from this homeless lady telling her about these murders and that the cops aren't doing anything. And so Lindsay looks into a couple of them, and the cops just show up. It's a homeless person. They really don't. They give the attitude they don't care. They work the overnight shift. They're working really hard. They interview people. Most of the time they don't do a crime scene. They just pack up the body, send it to the morgue, and be done with it. They haven't done much of an investigation. Lindsay follows it through, and she eventually goes to IAB. Her boss tells her, look, you should just leave it alone. The guys have got high-ranking people behind them. They've got fancy relatives. Leave it alone. They've got connections. And so Lindsay does go to IAB, internal affairs, and the guy's like, he really doesn't see, she might just want to leave it alone. He says there really isn't much to support her. She doesn't have any real good solid evidence. And then a couple of days later, the cops from the other division file charges against her with IAB that she is interfering with their case and that she's causing them grief. So then everybody goes to IAB and sits down and has a meeting. And it was decided that neither side had a case and it was to be let go, and Lindsay was to let it go. In the meantime, the woman that's been feeding Lindsay information gets killed. However, the woman who's been living on the streets apparently is a millionaire and she likes to help homeless people out. So she pretends to be homeless several days a week. I've got to sneeze just a second. I need to get working on my allergies. Oh, God. So I lost my train of thought there for a second. So when the homeless lady gets killed and it turns out she's really not homeless, she's really quite wealthy. So they get informing her relatives, and they learn from the relatives that she wanted to go undercover on the street and help homeless people out, so by posing as one of them and helping, giving them money and stuff like that, because they would accept money from one of them each other than they would from someone else. So she was doing that, and that's when she gets murdered, and that's what leads Lindsay to the whodunit. It's tied into this woman, and it's a really good story there. However, Yuki's case with the attorney, the rape case, the he said she done it sex case, takes up a really large majority of the book. And then there's Brady and Yuki. Apparently, this Yuki feels neglected. So, you know how I like to share stuff with you. I really don't share too much of Patterson with you. I have been known to share my other books with you, especially Jana de Leon, and we still have one more to go. I'm waiting for the sequel to come out. So, Yuki decides that she needs to put her foot down with her relationship with Brady. So she cons him into going out to dinner. He mistakenly thinks it's her birthday. So when they get to the fancy schmancy restaurant, she says, Brady, she said, full disclosure, my birthday is next week. I called an emergency dinner. You kidding me, hun? What, hun? What's wrong? She looked down at the table, her rehearsed speech feeling thick and stupid, stuck in her throat. She remembered what Claire said. That man loves you to death. Maybe Brady didn't realize the width of the gap that was opening between them. She felt the weight of the angel skin coral beads around her neck, Brady's wedding ring gift to her before their honeymoon cruise. People had died on the ship, and Brady had saved lives. He had saved her life. She loved him then and come to love him even more. What was he feeling? Yuki, what is it? I miss you, Brady. We never talk anymore, she said. We need to talk. Brady smiled, grabbed her hand, and said, Aw, thanks for the sneaky heads up on your birthday. I'll be sure to send flowers next week. Yuki thought, he doesn't get it, or he doesn't feel the same way, or he doesn't want to open up. All of that was possible. All of that was painful. It feels like we're losing each other, she said. I'm right here, Brady said. Scooch over. She slid toward him and reached over and dragged her close, wrapping both of his arms around her, resting his chin on top of her head and saying, What brought this on? Oh, I get it. He pulled back to look in her face. This is about your birthday, and now you're thinking about having a baby? Yuki leaned against Brady's chest, slipped her fingers between his shirt buttons. No, this isn't about a baby. Not now. Okay, good. What is it then? Don't you feel it, that we're kind of drifting apart? There was a moment of silence before Brady said, I see. I'm neglecting you. Jacobi unloaded a pile of administration work on me. He can't handle it anymore. On top of that, every other dog biting my butt. I'm primary on attempted murder-suicide. Yuki had heard about the case, and she goes on with them. So they have a little talk. And there's another big revelation towards the end of the book about what's going to happen with Brady and Yuki. So there's a big character revelation with them. Lindsay and Joe have big changes in their lives. Very big character changes, so we'll find that out in the next book, what's going on with them. And let's see, so we have Joe and Lindsay, huge, both of them, huge changes in their lives coming. Brady and Yucki also have huge changes in their lives in the last chapter of this book. And Jacobi, the big boss, also has huge changes in his life, resulting from the previous book also. And so, and Yuki's court case also has big ramifications, and there's big changes in that case. So check this out. I don't know who the 17th suspect is. I know that the guy only had 7 or 8 victims, so I'm not sure what happened there. But I don't have a Kindle to Google this. But it was a good book. It was a very quick read. We are going on to book 18 shortly. I may try out another couple of books, library books, before we get to bookshop type murder mysteries, library type murder mysteries. I've been experimenting with them, Kate Carlisle and Hilliard and Danvers and a couple others. So I got a few going over there. So please check out Star Trek Fridays, my new series If Then, Friday afternoons, and Flashback Mondays. Romantic Times magazine is still much valid today as it was 20 years ago. You can still find new authors to read. You can still read about books, get book recommendations. It's an awesome magazine, so please check it out. And please hit the like and subscribe and let me know I'm doing a good job. I'm trying really hard here. So thank you. Have a good one.